What's going on, everybody? My name is Jatir, and welcome to The Conversation. So, I want to talk to you guys about influence when it comes to your life and how you're looking at things on a day to day basis. I like to talk about relationships a lot because I'm so infatuated with people who are actually in them and become successful at it because I always wanted a two-parent household growing up. I learned the influence of not having that and the effect of that and how important it is to have that. So I see a lot of things in our time today as far as social media goes and the influence that people have on each other's lives and what may be trending and so forth. And I see that a lot of people find a lot of um, pleasure in talking about what they have, their possessions, and trying to be with a boss man or a boss chick. And I don't really see a lot of people. It's more now in the forefront, but a lot of people talking about like the things that it takes to actually be together, to stay together, the foundation, the things that they have implemented within themselves to be who they are, to become a boss at something. But these things doesn't correlate over. They don't cross over a lot of times from a person's career to a person's family. Sometimes, and a lot of times, these things get lost when you're being successful in one area and you're lacking in another. So, a question is, which way is up? So, I see so much on social media, and I think it's very important for you to be able to disconnect yourself from what's trending and figuring out what really works when it comes to one, your own personal life, but what has worked in history before and people who have like loving, trusting, harmonious relationships with one another. And then when it even comes to business, if you're creating a business or if you are an entrepreneur of some sort, of how do you develop yourself as being a leader, as being a team player, and learning how to develop teamwork, investing into yourself. Sometimes people operate, their businesses with, an iron fist or with a certain type of energy that's not really beneficial to everybody that's around them. You have jobs and things like that that have been created that there's a high turnover rate. These things happen for a reason, and some people don't focus on these things. So to me, all these things correlate into your everyday life, but it comes back to your household as far as I feel like the way that you look at things, your perspective on life. But again, I always go back to relationships because that's something that I love to focus on, something that I love to see in life of people being great because I feel like when you have a journey that we're on as individuals, it all comes back to your foundation, where it started from, and that starts from in the home. And it affects how we move throughout our lifestyle and our perspectives and the things that we edify. I see a lot of people edifying the material things like check my footwork, check what I got. You know what I mean? I got on a Fendi, jacket, I got on a Louis belt, check my drip. And why is that a thing? Why is this thing so pushed up so much, materialized, to where like it means so much. But when it comes to your character, who you are as a person, how you can help someone else because of the help that you have given yourself, the investment you have given into yourself. Why is these things not in the forefront? And I think for myself, my perspective that is very distasteful um, because I feel like we need more of the other things. I don't want to see a lot of people talking about just all the traveling things and buying a new house and buying a new car. These things are great, but the process that it takes for you to get to a point to where you are able to be who you are and not lose yourself and trying to do things for the internet, do things for social media. I feel like it gets lost a lot of time because now people start to see that as success. So it leaves that question again, which way is up? Because you can be a boss type of person, but what comes with that if you don't have the right type of alignment with your mind and the humbleness when it comes to what you have created? Because a person might like think a person is more successful or they edify you or have a respect for you based off of what you have accomplished in the material world. and it makes you feel like that you are somebody great and that you're doing something extraordinary, which you can pay homage to somebody, but it's like when it comes to you being a good person, when it comes to you being a good father, a good mother, a good friend, a good family member, someone that someone can trust and depend on, these things seem now to be pushed to the wayside. Like it's not that important. So I was having these thoughts about just how like strong I am on judging myself, with trying to keep myself intact and just trying to figure out what is most important to me and the things that I value the most. And I think people connect more with people when they are genuine. But a lot of times now, people don't focus on what's most important because the thing that's getting glorified is the thing that's the least important to me. And I just want to know what people's perspective is on this certain topic. Like, do you find yourself not really invested into who you are as a person and being a loving, kind person? Do you find yourself being on social media and thinking that someone else's life is so great because of what they're posting about what they have done, what they have accomplished, and what they have in the material world, versus how they have become a better person, how they have become closer to their spouse, how they have uh, noticed things about themselves, if it's through therapy or whatever, that okay, I have some childhood traumas and things that I have dealt with, and this is how I have overcome these things. Because we all have dealt with something in some way that is very significant to our growth, and you might not know a person's story and how they became strong. You don't know that they have went through certain things as a child that has helped them to develop at this point. Some people are stuck because of the things that they went through from a child. Some people have insecurities that they try to cover up with fashion and designer clothes, and you don't realize that they're really scared or they're really dealing with something and they're masking it. And I think these things should be more prominent in people's perspectives on which way is up, what is really valuable, to my life, what is helping me to be able to move forward. Because there's other people who's imitating, you know, the things that we are uplifting as a people that seems to be in the forefront. I know for myself, I never really been into politics deeply. Um, I don't really didn't really know about the legislation branch on how everything, the judicial, everything broke down in the people of the Senate and the importance of the voting system and things like this. Because these things, in the community that I grew up in, wasn't really in the forefront as far as people before me, generations before me, that's letting me know how important these things are when it comes to how the world is ran. And you end up having to do research on your own to try to figure these things out. There's nothing wrong with that, but these things are not talked about. These things is very valuable to how like the way of life will be and what's going on when it comes to the laws and regulations to a lot of things that happen in each state, each city, in around the world. It's very important for us to be educated on a lot of different things. So I feel like that, as far as foundation, as far as your household, I feel like that we have to do better as a people when it comes to what are we educating our children about. Are we are becoming people who are doing the same thing that happened in the previous generation and not sitting your children down and letting them understand the importance of life decisions, foundations, relationships, and so forth, the world, how it works, money, credit, and so forth. To me, all these things correlate. All these things go, hand in hand. So one of my perspectives for myself that I'm very strong about, because I'm so strong on loyalty. I'm so strong on trust, respect, honesty, love. It's very important to me, and I can fail at certain things and I'd be like, man, I should have been better at that, but I will become better. And it'd be like, man, I want to eat better for my body results. I'm kind of still eating a little sloppy, but it's all right. I don't harbor on it. Man, I was supposed to work out at least 5 times this week out of 7 days. Only did three. Last week only did two. It's like I don't like that, but I can fail at something like that and be okay. But for me, when it comes to a relationship, if I failed at um, being a faithful man, it ain't even about the other person. For me, it's about me. How disappointed in myself I would be, you know. that's hard on my mind. So I can even not even have stepped out on somebody, but I could have had the thought of being tempted by someone, and that will bother me. Not working out this week, ain't that big of a deal. But the embarrassment I feel that a person, would have if some woman was flirting with me and I was being flirtatious back, and knowing that a woman has that access, to speak to me in a certain way, knowing that my woman wouldn't like that, that I'm embarrassing her by allowing this woman to speak to me um, in this way. You know what I mean? That plagues my mind if I did something like that. If this woman is beautiful, nice shape, nice figure, kind of elite when it comes to the world and having things and created things as a boss, and uh, this person knew I had someone, but yet they were still coming on to me. And if I turned it down, but in my mind I knew that, like, boy, like that right there, man, if I had these type of thoughts, y'all, for me, it would bother me that I'm like, why are you even tempted by that? It would make me not question myself, but it would make me check myself. Like, get yourself in line, because this person can be beautiful, whatever like that, but your mind got to be better than that, got to be stronger than that. I feel like these things can happen. And some people be like, man, it ain't nothing. If you didn't do it, just having a thought, like, you're human. But for me, it's not that. It's like, why do I have this thought in the first place? I chose this person for a reason. Why are you kind of tempted to step outside of that? Because you didn't step out, but you was tempted by it. How many times can you be around other people and still stay strong? And what if your spouse did something like that? So I feel like all this still goes into what's in you, what's being poured into you, what's up front. I don't feel like that family is really put, in the limelight and uplifted as much as gaining material possessions and gaining um, likes on social media. To me, that holds more weight for the world now. And I feel like, and I know I'm saying I'm talking about politics, I'm talking about relationships, but to me, it's all about what's being important to you, things that are very important and significant, and then things that are not important and significant, of who hit the charts, who's number five, what came out this week. These things seem to be trending so much, but when it comes to how to create, a better life and a world for the future generations, and because we know how we was influenced by the lack of parenting, or the lack of understanding, or the lack of uh, two-parent households. The reason why in the black community, why uh, the black men are doing what we are doing in the streets when it comes to anything that keeps us away from our families, that keeps us, going back and forth to jail, incarceration, and stuff like that. Before we even get into the mindset of the system and stuff like that, where are we lacking at? And how did that start? Because we're uplifting things that we think is up. Which way is up? We thinking that this lifestyle is up. We thinking that making this easy, quick money is up. We thinking that showing, our drip, is up. Now I like to do this, y'all, just, as a fun thing, but it's a regular t-shirt. I'm not doing it because this is a $200 t-shirt, that I'm doing. So I don't have that type of connection to material things like that. So I want to know what you guys think, when it comes to your perspective on uh, what do you think that we're actually doing in life? Do you think we're actually moving forward or moving backwards? When a lot of times when we get on to our social media platforms and things like that, what we are showing, are we showing foundation? Are we showing principles? Are we showing love? Are we doing things just to entertain people for clickbait likes and things like that? Or are we actually making an impact in the world? I'm not really big into politics, so I wouldn't be really speaking on politics, but there's someone out there who really knows about politics, and I think that it is important for us to start paying attention to things like this versus, other things that's not really moving us forward as a people, as a country, and as families. A lot of us come from broken families and broken households, and we grow up to be grown, broken adults. Even if we don't want to admit it, that's what happens. I'm learning from me being in a new relationship, the things that I'm thinking that I'm great at. When you have to be this person every day, you realize, oh man, I'm failing at these certain things. It's different when you have to put these things into practice every day, day in and day out. But not only acknowledging your shortcomings and not only um, admitting to them, it's actually putting in the work to figure this thing out and make sure that it's working, that you are actually able to move forward. So anyway, I want to know what you guys' perspective is on this topic. Let me know how you feel about it. Please leave your comments down below. Please like, share, and subscribe. That's been my time. My name is Detir. It's one love from me to you. Remember that it's progress, not perfection. You rest in the end, not the middle. Stay focused. My name is Detir, and welcome to the conversation.